Okay, good afternoon once again. So today we're going to have our science class. And as you still remember last time, we have discussed the male and female parts of the reproductive system. Now why we are discussing reproductive system. So important term here is reproduction. What? Reproduction, right? So it means since we are dealing reproduction, we also tackle her fertilization, we also tackle her pregnancy, why girls became pregnant or become pregnant, why there is menstruation, and all. As parts of, understanding the reproductive system. Now, as male and female, can you hear me clearly? Yes. As male and female, you need to recognize that you have, you are about to undergo or to experience all these things. It's normal. Okay? So it means when the time already comes that you're already experiencing bodily changes, please acknowledge that one and just tell yourself that is normal. That's part of the puberty stage. All right? Now, before we continue with our lesson for today, so we are going to discuss menstrual cycle. Okay? But I asked you to read bodily changes a while ago. So anyone who can give me some bodily changes that is being experienced by a male or a female during puberty stage? Let me see if you read the, page 89 until, ano bang page yun? 84, I think. Yes, anyone can give me one bodily changes? At least, I will ask at least three of you. Yes. Amar, will you please give one?
In puberty in boys, their voices became deeper because their larynx became bigger.
Yes. The voice become like deeper, right? What else? Yes, Abam? Yes, Abam. Let's have Miel.
You may get pimples.
Yes, that's part. Okay. Last one. Last one. We have anyone? Not be shy. It's normal. It's part of our discussion. Okay. Let's have Diana.
Changes in weight.
Yes, in weight. Definitely. Okay, you will gain weight. Now, will you please get a paper first, a notebook, and then answer the following questions, true or false, and then later we're going to check. So again, our topic is about menstrual cycle. So these are the questions. You will just write true if the statement is true, and then write false if it is incorrect. Okay, number one, I am entering puberty stage. Okay, let's proceed. It is normal to experience bodily changes. Okay, next. Male's main organ is vas deferens. Let's continue. Menstruation is part of puberty stage, bodily changes in girls. And number 5, the uterus is the location where fertilization occurs. Okay, let's check. Now later, please put the scores, type your scores in our GC, right? Okay, number 1, I am entering puberty stage. Is it true or false?
True.
Okay, the correct answer is true. Okay, maybe as of now, wala pa kayong nakikitang bodily changes. There are some of you, pero I believe most of you already, observed some bodily changes. But all of you are already entering puberty stage based sa age. Okay, now, is it normal? It is normal rather to experience bodily changes. Okay, just answer. Open your camera, audio if you want to answer. That's
True.
correct. Yes, pwedeng sabay-sabay. Yan, para lahat ay may participation. Okay, let's continue. Main organ is vas deferens. Ready, go.
False.
What is the main organ?
Testes.
Yes, testes or testes. That's correct. Very good. Or testicles. That is correct. Menstruation is part of puberty stage bodily changes in girls.
True.
That's correct.
Madyan.
Next, the uterus is the location where fertilization occurs. Oh, bakit walang sumagot? Sure? True or false? This is? Yeah, the answer here is false. Why? Fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube. Yung tube, yung daanan na yon, na-imagine nyo sa drawing na meron tayo. The fertilization will occur there. Saka lang siya bababa sa uterus kapag na-fertilize na. Kapag nagdikit na yung egg cell saka sperm cell, sa fallopian tube, bababa siya ngayon, papunta sa uterus. Doon siya ma-attach para mag-grow, mag-develop into a baby. Okay? Who got 5? Wow, nice. Meron nakakuha ng 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, wala naman. So, nice. Okay. So, please, later, please type your scores sa ating GC. Alright? Now, let's watch first this one before we continue. Because this is quite important. Period. Okay, ito muna.
You must have heard many of the teenagers around you constantly saying things like, "Nobody understands me. I feel so lonely," and many such things. Do you recall hearing such comments from elders? Even if you have, it would have been a rare occurrence. But then why do we always hear such comments mostly from teenagers? Is there any specific reason for this? Basic answer to this question is adolescence and puberty. Now you may wonder why this happens. Puberty gets with it several changes in the person. So do you think these changes will only be the physical changes? Of course not. Changes are mental, emotional, and psychological as well. Let's have a quick glance at the various changes which adolescent individuals go through. Shall we begin with the physical changes first? The most significant change that puberty gets with it is the increase in height. To be specific, growth of the complete body. If you observe keenly, then you may realize that being kids, girls grow in height faster. However, on reaching adolescence, the height of boys increases rapidly. Do you know why the growth in height is maximum during this age? The principal reason is bone elongation. This is the time when long bones in our body, that is the bones of the arms and legs, get elongated. However, the growth rate as well as the time required for growth will be different in the individuals. Along with the hormones that bring about the elongation of bones in our body, nutrients are equally important too. The nutrients supplied to the growing bones and muscles makes sure that all the parts grow appropriately. growth of various parts gets us to the next important change during adolescence. And what could that be? Yes, we are talking about change in shape. It is not possible that the body of a person will only grow in length. Even the width has to increase to make the growth proportional. So what differences do we find in the adolescents as compared to kids? In boys, we find that compared to the kids, these grown-ups have broader shoulders. That is the reason why boys start appearing stouter or robust when they grow. On the other hand, girls experience widening of the region below their waist. In addition, the girls seem to have gained weight and become fat compared to their childhood. This was the comparison between different age groups. But within the same age group of adolescents, are there any noticeable changes between boys and girls? Of course, yes. Relative to girls, boys have prominent growth in their muscles. This is the reason why teenage boys like to flaunt their biceps to indicate their strength. There is one more major difference between adolescent boys and girls that we are missing out. Can you guess the difference? Let me give you a hint. When you meet a teenage boy after many years, his voice astonishes you. You notice that the voice of the boys starts deepening. What do we mean by this? This basically means that the voice of males starts getting deeper on the note of octaves. In the simplest words, the voice turns somewhat hoarse and low-pitch. On the other hand, the voice of girls doesn't deepen as much. As a result, they develop a high-pitched voice. But why does this happen? What could be the reason for this? Well, the major reason is increase in the size of larynx. Now, what could this be? We all are familiar with the term voice box. This is scientifically addressed as larynx. So, are we saying that the voice box enlarges? Yes, it does. And in whom does this happen? It happens in the males. Yes, in boys, the size of voice box increases during puberty. And an amazing fact is that we can see this enlarged voice box. That's right, we find a protrusion in the throat region when boys grow. This is commonly referred to as the Adam's apple. And it is due to this that the voice of the boys is deeper than that of the girls. So next time you meet your teenage cousin or friend after a long time, you will understand why and how that person has changed so much. Now I want you to tell me, are there any common changes that we find in both, boys as well as girls? Of course there are. We have numerous variations that are seen in adolescents irrespective of whether they are male or female. But in order to know them, you will have to watch our next video. Panic after seeing pimples on their faces? Wait, hold on. Why are we discussing about pimples? Well, that is because it describes one of the most significant physical changes in adolescence. And apart from this, the issue is common in both girls and boys. Development of pimples and acne are very noticeable features of adolescence. Again, the same question would pop up in our minds. Why do these occur prominently during adolescence only? The simplest reason is that during puberty, the activity of oil glands and sweat glands is quite high. Wait a second, what exactly are these glands? The first ones, called oil glands or even sebaceous glands, are those which secrete an oily substance called sebum. A mixture of various oils and waxes is secreted by these sebaceous glands present all over the body. And what will be the use of this sebum? It is meant to protect the skin and form a waterproof as well as lubricating layer around it. And what do the second type of glands function as? As the name suggests, sweat glands are known for secretion of sweat. The main purpose of this is to maintain body temperature and eliminate waste products to an extent. If the secretions from these glands are good for us, then how can these cause pimples and related problems? Well, these secretions are good only in the required amounts. However, if the quantity of secretions exceed the required amount, then they definitely cause problems. This is what exactly happens during puberty. Since these glands secrete excessive sebum and other oils, it results in the extra amount to ooze out of the skin. However, the skin pores usually get clogged with the extra oil, and these clogs result in the pimples or acne on the face. These were some commonly observed changes that come with adolescence. However, we have not yet discussed the most important physical change in every adolescent. Yes, I am referring to the development of sex organs. Wait a second. Are we saying that these organs develop during adolescence only? Yes. The reproductive organs, which are also referred to as the gonads, are present since birth, develop completely during puberty. And what does this imply? It implies that the male or the female is now physically capable of reproducing. So what exactly do we mean by development of the reproductive organs? If we take the case of males, then the development of testes takes place. This is the site for production of male gametes, the sperms. Similarly, in case of females, we find the development of reproductive structures called ovaries. These ovaries are the location where egg cells, that is the ova, are produced. That is the reason why we say that puberty is a stepping stone towards adulthood. But are the changes during adolescence limited to the physical ones? Of course not. We have seen that the changes during puberty will include mental, intellectual, and emotional ones as well. So what exactly will happen in this case? In order to understand this, we need to take help of the theory put forth by the famous German-American psychologist Erik Erikson. In his theory, the stage of adolescence is bestowed with the title Identity versus Role Confusion. Is the title self-explanatory? Yes, it is. It tells us what the adolescents go through. Along with all the physical changes, adolescents experience many changes in their thinking patterns as well. They can grasp and learn things better, and they usually understand emotions better. Psychologically, they start behaving independently. At this stage, many of them find themselves confident enough to take a few decisions as well. So, as per the theory, individuals during adolescence either turn successful while searching their own identity and their responsibilities, or become totally confused as to what exactly is happening with them in life. We know that every individual is unique. Similarly, characters seen in adolescence, right from physical changes to the mental development, are subjective to each individual. In simple words, adolescence is an age just like wet clay. You can mold yourself into the most appropriate form. But for this, all you need is good morals, the right direction, and an elderly guide to lead you to the correct path. With this, we come to an end of the topic, changes occurring during adolescence. So what next? In the next video, we have to learn about the concept of development of secondary sexual characters.
Okay, so that's I've shown that video so that in summary we can see that there are really bodily changes in weight, in height. Actually, those male did not mention in the video or on the video is what there are times due to improvement or development of a reproductive sex organ. It includes growth of pubic hairs, for example, in private areas. Okay, so not mentioned there. And to know that changes are not only physically. It is what mental changes, social changes, or even mental changes. Okay, so there are times you cannot go out without fixing yourself or putting some powder for girls, or like fixing the hair. So you are so concerned already of how you look in front of many people. So that is one. Now, I also let you watch the video to understand that bodily changes, since for female is the most complex reproductive compared to male, one unique characteristics of male is the menstruation. Okay? But both male and female is what? having the development of a sperm cell for male and egg cell for female. That is due to what? Puberty. Sino nagsasabi na kailangan mag-mature? It's not us who will command our body. It's the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is located in our brain. That's the one who will tell na, oh, ready na yung body mo to have these changes. And then the hypothalamus will coordinate with the pituitary gland, and this gland is responsible for these bodily changes. It means without the pituitary gland, there will be no changes. Okay? Take note of that. Without the pituitary gland, there will be no changes. So I will just put the spelling later, pituitary gland. But pituitary gland and hypothalamus work together, okay, para magkaroon ng bodily changes. And now we will focus one of the bodily changes that is occurring in females, and that is menstruation. Okay? Why there is menstruation? Why only for girls? Uniquely for girls? It's because definitely only the girls is what? Carrying the child or the baby for pregnancy. Hindi naman kayang magdala or mag-pregnancy ng men or ng male or ng boys. Okay? That is why the more complex reproductive is for male. Now, later I'm going to explain the menstrual cycle. Paano nangyayari yung bakit guro ang itatanong niyo sa akin, sir, bakit there's a blood? There's a flow of blood. Okay? What do we need to do if that's the case kapag may nangyari na bleeding, for example? So, if you experience such thing, do not be afraid. It's a normal thing for male. Again, mas abnormal pa yung walang ganon. Means, kapag nangyari sa inyo, you need to accept it wholeheartedly because it's really bound to happen. Pag may nakitang growth of pubic hairs, that's normal. Pwede nyo namang i-inform syempre yung parents ninyo about that. Especially for girls, you need to inform your mothers if you are already experiencing this kind of bodily changes. Right? Now, let's have first why do women have periods? Let's watch first one to understand, and then later I'm going to explain the menstrual cycle.
A handful of species on Earth share a seemingly mysterious trait, a menstrual cycle. We're one of the select few, monkeys, apes, bats, humans, and possibly elephant shrews are the only mammals on Earth that menstruate. We also do it more than any other animal, even though it's a waste of nutrients and can be a physical inconvenience. So where's the sense in this uncommon biological process? The answer begins with pregnancy. During this process, the body's resources are cleverly used to shape a suitable environment for a fetus, creating an internal haven for a mother to nurture her growing child. In this respect, pregnancy is awe-inspiring. That's only half the story. The other half reveals that pregnancy places a mother and her child at odds. As for all living creatures, the human body evolved to promote the spread of its genes. For the mother, that means she should try to provide equally for all her offspring. But a mother and her fetus don't share exactly the same genes. The fetus inherits genes from its father as well, and those genes can promote their own survival by extracting more than their fair share of resources from the mother. This evolutionary conflict of interests places a woman and her unborn child in a biological tug-of-war that plays out inside the womb. One factor contributing to this internal tussle is the placenta, a fetal organ that connects to the mother's blood supply and nourishes the fetus while it grows. In most mammals, the placenta is confined behind a barrier of maternal cells. This barrier lets the mother control the supply of nutrients to the fetus. But in humans and a few other species, the placenta actually penetrates right into the mother's circulatory system to directly access her bloodstream. Through its placenta, the fetus pumps the mother's arteries with hormones that keep them open to provide a permanent flow of nutrient-rich blood. A fetus with such unrestricted access can manufacture hormones to increase the mother's blood sugar, dilate her arteries, and inflate her blood pressure. Most mammal mothers can expel or reabsorb embryos if required. But in humans, once the fetus is connected to the blood supply, severing that connection can result in hemorrhage. Fetus develops poorly or dies, the mother's health is endangered. As it grows, a fetus's ongoing need for resources can cause intense fatigue, high blood pressure, and conditions like diabetes and preeclampsia. Because of these risks, pregnancy is always a huge and sometimes dangerous investment. So it makes sense that the body should screen embryos carefully to find out which ones are worth the challenge. This is where menstruation fits in. Pregnancy starts with a process called implantation, where the embryo embeds itself in the endometrium that lines the uterus. The endometrium evolved to make implantation difficult, so that only the healthy embryos could survive. But in doing so, it also selected for the most vigorously invasive embryos, creating an evolutionary feedback loop. The embryo engages in a complex, exquisitely timed hormonal dialogue that transforms the endometrium to allow implantation. What happens when an embryo fails the test? It might still manage to attach or even get partly through the endometrium. As it slowly dies, it could leave its mother vulnerable to infection. And all the time, it may be emitting hormonal signals that disrupt her tissues. The body avoids this problem by simply removing every possible risk. Each time ovulation doesn't result in a healthy pregnancy, the womb gets rid of its endometrial lining, along with any unfertilized eggs, sick, dying, or dead embryos. That protective process is known as menstruation, leading to the period. This biological trait, bizarre as it may be, sets us on course for the continuation of the human race.
Okay, so that's it. Why there is menstruation. Now, to make it simple, it's not so easy to understand the video, but to make it like easy to understand, class, when a girl is already experiencing menstruation, it means that she is ready for pregnancy. Take note of that. Okay? But why instead of being having a child or being pregnant, menstruation yung nangyayari? Kasi hindi pa naman kayo capable of pregnancy. You get my point? Because for example, a young woman or a young girl who is like 12, pwede na ba siya maging pregnant? Definitely not. So instead of being pregnant or, undergo pregnancy, menstruation yung magiging kapalit nun. You get my point? So bakit menstruation? So definitely class, remember, you are maturing. Girls, ha? During maturity, yung ovaries ninyo, iaano ko in Filipino para mabilis maintindi. Yung ovaries ninyo will what? Maglalabas siya ng egg. The ova. Get it? Yung ova na yon or yung egg, lalabas yon, papasok through fallopian tube. Kapag na-meet siyang sperm cell from male, mafi-fertilize. And then, bababa siya, bababa, papunta ng uterus. Ma-attach siya dun sa endometrium na minention a while ago, dun sa uterus, dun sa lalaki. Eh what if wala siyang nasalubong na sperm cell? Okay? Anong mangyayari sa egg? Ganun pa rin. Bababa pa rin from the fallopian tube, ma-attach siya sa endometrium or sa uterine lining, kakapal siya dun. Dahil hindi naman siya naging baby, anong mangyayari? Mag-thicken. And the thickening, that is what? Will turn into a blood. Kailangan niya mag-break down. Kailangan niya mailabas ng body. And that is why there is menstruation. It means two processes are involved. It's either maging pregnant or mag-menstruate. But as young as you, ano dapat ang na-experience ng girls kapag hindi pa married? It should be menstruation. Because pregnancy, sino lang nakaka-experience nito? Definitely those married women. Or those women who are already what? has a husband already or legally ay accepted na ng law or ng religion na they need to what? To be one. And then there's the time na magkakaroon na sila ng anak. And that is should be legal. Okay, that should be legal. And that's the essence of discussing the reproductive system. That is to reproduce. To have offspring. Kahit sa animals, yung mga susunod nating lesson, same. Pag-uusapan natin, bakit ba nagkakaroon ng pregnancy yung mga animals? Same, para dumami. Para magkaroon ng offspring. Did you get it? Now, as what I'm telling, kapag hindi pregnancy yung nanganap, hindi pregnancy yung nangyari, anong mangyayari? Menstruation. Okay? And there are 4 phases of menstrual cycle. So that's what I'm going to discuss now. The 4 phases of the menstrual cycle. Okay? So, ulitin ko dito yung number 5. Hindi sa uterus nagaganap yung fertilization but in the fallopian tube. Yeah, this is the menstrual cycle. There are 28 days on average para magkaroon ng ulit. Bawa, nagkaroon ng menstruation ng day 1, so magkakaroon ulit sa day 29. Why? This is a 28-day cycle. That is on average. But it doesn't mean na sinasabi ng science na 28-day yung magiging menstrual cycle ay laging 28. It varies depending on the situation of the girl or the woman. Depending on many factors. Merong mga babae na hindi naman umaabot ng 28 days. Okay? May mga babae class na actually yung menstrual nila is ranging from 21 to 35 days for adults or even 21 to 45 days for teens, young teens. But I said, on average, it is 28 days. Okay? Now, anong nangyayari within the 28 days? Sa day 1, doon nangyayari yung period or yung the blood flow. Take note of that kasi tatanong ko yan sa exam or sa true or false mamaya. Saan nangyayari yung blood flow or bleeding? Day 1. And we call it period. Okay? Now, menstruation is just part of the menstrual cycle. But, hindi lang menstruation yung pag-uusapan natin. The whole menstrual cycle yung pag-uusapan natin. And when we talk about menstrual cycle, nakikita nyo yung color blue and red na arrow? First stage natin is menstruation. Yun na yung day 1. But we have what we call the follicular phases or phase that is from day 1 to 13. Okay? Kasama na yung menstruation doon. So from day 1 to 13, we have follicular phase. Alright? Now, tingnan nyo yung red. Red arrow. From day 15 to 28, that is luteal phase. Ngayon, i-discuss ko mamaya ano yung pagkakaiba ng follicular phase sa luteal phase. But, tandaan nyo muna class yung day kung saan siya kabilang. From day 1 to 13, that is follicular phase. Pero yung day 1, we call it menstruation or the period. Actually, hindi lang naman sa day 1, pwede siyang umabot ng until day 5. Tapos, iba-iba pa class, depende pa sa girl. Merong babae na 3 days lang yung menstruation, meron namang 7 days. It ranging from 3 to 7 days. Ano yung sinasabi ko? Yung menstrual flow, yung breakdown ng blood, yung period. Okay? Iba-iba rin. Pero ano yung average? 3 to 7 days. Yung pagdugo. Yung pagba-blood flow. Okay? Kaya bumibili ng yung mga women or girls sa tindahan. Hindi ko nababanggitin what they buy, but to what? To take care of themselves. Nga, there's a blood flow. Kailangan nilang maging malinis, maging take care of themselves rather. Okay? So, I will repeat. In the menstrual cycle, we have 28 days in total. Day 1, that is the menstruation or period. Pero pwedeng yung menstruation or yung period ay umabot hanggang day 5. Pwede siyang 1 to 5. Ilagay nyo, i-note nyo dyan. 1 to 5, menstruation. Pero yung start ng menstruation is day 1. That's the bleeding. Now, saan nag-i-start yung follicular phase? Second phase na tayo. From day 1 to 13. Okay? Day 1 to 13. That is follicular phase. Ito yung kasunod class ng menstruation. So, anong nangyayari dito? Okay. Yung lining ng uterus, yung kaninang pinakita, yung nasa uterus part, kumakapal. There's a what? Starts to grow, or the term is proliferate. Okay? Due to hormone estrogen. So take note, yung estrogen yung nagsisignal dun sa uterus na kumapal siya. Okay? Hindi siya dahil gusto ko lang kumapal. No. There is the responsible for that is estrogen hormone. Okay? Next, this lining start to develop to receive the fertilized egg. Kaya siya nagde-develop class from day 1 to 13 para maging handa siya to receive the egg. Do you get my point? Kaya siya nag-grow kasi nga lalabas na yung egg sa day 14. Para ma-prepare yung paglabas ng egg, para meron siyang, kumbaga sa ano, inahanda ng body yung paglalagyan ng egg. Okay? Alright, so na-prepare na ngayon. Karoon na ng growth yung uterus. Okay? So, ready na siya ngayon. Ready na siya para paglagyan ng egg. Ngayon, ano yung pangatlong phase? We call it the ovulation phase. Kita nyo to, yung nandito sa baba, ovulation, na nagaganap day 14. Now, class, bibigay ako ng clue. Pag narinig nyo yung word na ovulation, ang root word niyan is ova. Ano ba yung ova? Egg. Itlog. Saan lalabas yung itlog? Ovaries. Ibig sabihin, kailan lalabas yung egg? Day 14. And what we call that? Ovulation phase. Kasi nga, ano yung lumabas? Ova. That's why, ovulation phase. Now, sir, pare-pareho bang day 14? On average, it should be day 14 dapat lalabas yung egg. Kaya nga nag-prepare muna yung follicular phase, di ba? From day 1 to 13. Para pag lumabas yung egg ng day 14, handa na. Meron na siyang hihiga ang maayos sa uterus. Get my point? That's the idea. Kaya nag-prepare muna siya ng day 1 to 13. Kasi ine-expect niya ngayon na sa day 14, lalabas yung egg. At kailangan niyang i-take care yon dun sa uterus. Kaya lang, from day 15 to 28, wala namang na-receive na sperm yung egg. Kaya tingnan nyo to class, nakalagay dito. If an egg has not been fertilized, the follicles fade away. Wala namang na-receive na sperm yung babae. Hindi pa naman pwede kasi bata pa siya. Alangan namang magkaka-relationship na siya agad. 15 pa lang siya, 16, 17, hindi pa nga siya tapos mag-aral. Okay? Hindi pa niya kayang mabuhay mag-isa. Hindi pa siya pwede mag-engage sa relationship with boy. Kaya hindi pa siya pwede maging pregnant. Definitely, wala siyang marireceive na sperm kasi wala pa naman siyang asawa. Anong mangyayari ngayon? Yes, the egg is not fertilized. Yung egg na na-attach sa uterus, what will happen? Kapal siya, class. Okay? Kakapal, then magsithickening, at dahil sobrang kumapal na siya, okay, hindi na kayang i-hold ng uterus, mabibreak siya. And it flow sa day 1 ulit, will flow as a blood. Menstruation na ulit. The cycle continues. Paulit-ulit lang siya. So, day 1 to 13, ipe-prepare ulit yung uterus. Day 14, magkakaroon ng ovulation. Day 15 to 28, pag walang na-receive na egg, mag-second yung uterus. And then, may menstruation ng day 1. And ganun ulit. Day 1 to 13, ipe-prepare para sa paglabas ng egg. Hindi naman siya nabuntis kasi wala pa naman ng asawa. Second ulit yung uterus. And then, madidetas ulit yun as blood. Kaya, if you ask pregnant women, pwede kayong magtanong, class, sa mga buntis na, mga babae lang yung magtatanong, ha? Pwede nyo siya lang tanongin, do you experience menstruation during pregnancy? Definitely not. Hindi na sila mag-menstruate. Bakit? Merong naka-attach sa uterus na baby at nagde-develop siya in 9 months. Okay? Ibig sabihin, it will not. Kailan siya ulit mag-menstruate? After pregnancy. At kapag nag-stop yung menstruation, possible there is like pregnancy. Alam nating walang pregnancy kapag laging nagme-menstruate. Monthly period, ang tawag. Kaya nga, naririnig sa mga ate nyo na, I have monthly period. Because that is, 28 days is a total of 1 month almost. Okay? Pero hindi pare-pare yung day. Halimbawa, April 1, nagkaroon ng menstruation, May 1 ulit. No. Bilang ka ng 28 days. For example, nagkaroon ka ng period ng May 1, ang sunod mong magiging period is May 29. Bakit? It's 28-day cycle. Get it? So, magbibilang ka ulit from 29, tapos kung saan papatak, June, ano na ulit yun? 28 days, bilangin mo yun. Okay? Laging ganon ang cycle. You can count it, lalo mo especially girls, para alam nyo yung cycle ninyo. Alam nyo kung kailan ulit magkakaroon, kailan kayo magpe-prepare, if you have the idea about the menstrual cycle. That is what we are like seeing sa ating slide. Yung menstrual cycle. Again, I will repeat, there are 4 stages. Paki-note nyo ulit yung 4 stages. 1, menstruation. Day 1, 5. Menstruation. Day 1 to 5. Next, follicular phase. Yung blue, nakikita yung blue na may arrow. That is phase number 2. We call that follicular phase. Day 1 to 13. Day 1 to 13. Follicular phase, day 1 to 13. That is the preparation to receiving the egg. Next, day 14. Isa lang na araw yon. Day 14, ovulation phase. That is the 3rd phase. Pangatlong phase. Ovulation phase. When? Day 14. Next, the last stage or the last phase is the luteal phase. That is from day 15 to 28. Again, the last stage is luteal phase. Or, this is the time that egg has not been fertilized, so the follicles fade away. And then the womb, plus, how by the way you pronounce it as womb, not womb. Okay, silent B. Lining detaches. Madi-detach siya. And that's the time na magkakaroon na ng blood flow, menstruation. It's actually not so good physically for women. Hindi maganda yung menstruation sa babae kasi it's hard for them. May mga nutrients na nawawala sa katawan, may sumasakit ang tiyan. Hindi talaga siya maganda sa mga girls. Kaya nga sabi, yes, mas mahirap sa babae kasi they need to experience these things monthly. Every month. Some boys, wala masyadong na-experience. That's why I'm happy. Anyway, that's not to discriminate the girls, but then, for boys kasi walang ganyan. Walang experience na anything na masakitan tiyan, magkakaroon ng ganito. No, only for girls. Kaya nga sinasabing complex yung reproductive system ng girls kasi nga they need to experience this menstruation every month. Okay? So, that is the totality or the cycle. Why we call it cycle? Tuloy-tuloy. It continuously happening every month. Non-stop. Unless, mag-aano na yung babae, mag-menopause na, matagal pa naman yun. Menopause. Menopause means, mawawala na ng menstruation. Hindi na maglalabas ng egg. Hindi na magmamature yung egg sa ovaries. Kapag matanda na yung babae. Okay? That's, kailan pa yun? Matagal pa yun. Kailan yung ma-experience yung menstruation? Almost half of your life, girls. Hindi, more than half of your life, you experience that. And, again, it's a normal thing. You need to accept that anytime from now, you will entering the stage of this stage, menstruation. All right, so that's the menstrual cycle. Now, let's try to review the 4 stages, okay? Using your show me board. Kasi dito ko malalaman if you mali yung na-press ko. if you at least were able to listen or ano. Okay, what do we call? Will you please write first the 4 stages or the 4 phases of menstrual cycle from day 1 to 28? There are 4 stages or 4 phases. What are those? Okay, timer starts now. Please,
Sir, ano po
sabihin
yan?
niyo yung word na done or please say done kapag tapos. Write the 4 phases or the 4 stages of menstrual cycle.
Done.
Done?
Done.
All right, so let's check. So these are
Done.
4 stages
Hindi
or
pa po
phases
done.
of
Hindi pa
menstrual
po
cycle.
done, sir. Hindi pa po done.
Okay, more time.
Done.
Done.
Bakit kaya enter lang ni Abang? Na ano ba siya? Na-disconnect? Bakit nag-share ng ano si Abang? Kahit wag mo nang kasama yung day 1 to 5. Sa yung unang stage, day 1 to 5. Yung sunod na stage, day 1 to 13. Sunod na stage, day 14. Yung last stage, day 15 to 28. Madali namang tandaan yun, class. Pero wag mo nang ilagay yung mga day na yun. Gusto ko lang muna malaman if you know the sequence, kung ano yung nauuna, ano yung susunod, ano yung... Now, class, sa book nyo kasi, kung babasahin nyo, ang daming sinasabi patungkol sa bawat stage. Kaya ang gusto ko lang marinig sa inyo is simple. Okay? Simple lang kapag mag-explain. Later, ano ko, i-share ko ulit yung slide natin. Kasi kung i-discuss nyo yung nasa book na sobrang habang mag-explain, kung ano yung about sa day 1 to 5, day 1 to 13, so it's not good. Kasi paano siya i-explain ng ganun kalinaw, sobrang haba. Okay, let's check now. Will you please flash your answer? First one is menstruation. Is correct. Second one is, that is not follicular, that is follicular. Follicular. Follicular phase. And then, bago yung luteal, mauuna muna yung ovulation. Okay? Ito yung sequence ha, paki-check. Menstruation, followed by follicular phase. Next is ovulation. And the last is luteal phase. Okay? So, kung hindi naka-arrange ng ayos, yung dalawa lang yung tama, menstruation and follicular phase. Pag nakaayos yung apat ng correct order, you'll receive 4 points. Cell type?
Period.
Yes.
Po.
Menstruation? Menstruation? Sige, I'll accept now, but next time, wag period yung gamitin. Okay, menstruation. So, number 1 is menstruation. Number 2 is... Okay, check yung ano ng follicular phase. Yung spelling dapat. Third one is ovulation. And fourth one is... Ayan, nilagay ko sa sa chat box. That's how you spell. Pero yung mga minor kaunting ano lang sa spelling, sige, accept ko muna. Kasi hindi ko pa naman sinasabi ng maayos kanina yung way, how to spell it. So, the spelling should be menstruation, follicular phase, ovulation, and luteal. 4 points for those who get it correct, in right order. Bakit mahalaga yung order natin or right sequence? Kasi hindi pwede magkapalit yung ovulation and luteal phase. Dapat nauna muna yung ovulation. Okay? Same thing with menstruation and follicular phase. Now, okay. What is the stage or what do we expect to happen during day 14? What do we expect to happen during day 14? Okay, ready? Go. What do we expect during day 14?
Done.
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 Oh, nice. Like, ovulation. Please, Anika. Rest, tama. Note, on, be released. Ovary. Yung no, it's uh, talamos na o pag next, right. What is day 1 to 5? Or what a girl can experience during 1 to 5?
Done.
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 Okay, so will you please show your answers now in 3, 1, go. Check yung spelling. It should be S-T-R-U. May U yapat yun. A-T-I-O-N. Correct. Yeah, all correct. Yeah, pakiayos. Okay, now, average, how many days menstrual cycle? Average day.
Done.
Done.
Done. Done.
Done.
Okay, number lang naman yan. Let's go. Show your answer. All right, that is correct. So that is 28 days. Okay, tama ba lahat? Tama naman lahat. Anika, where's Anika? Parang hindi ko nakikita si Anika na nag-open camera. Marius, are you there? Can you hear me? Correct. JF, are you there? Can you hear me? 28 or 28, 28 days, rather. That is correct. Okay. Next question. All right. So meron na tayong 4 plus 1, 5, and another question. 6 points na yung, ano na yun, magiging sagot. Next. Okay. Is the stage or the phase that is taking place from day 1 to 13. Day 1 to 13. Day 1 to 13. What is the stage or phase that is taking place during day 1 to 13?
Done.
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 Okay, will you please show your answers? In 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, nice. Okay, but again, check your spelling. But as I can see naman, almost most of the class got a correct answer. Follicular. Okay, ayos lang yung spelling ng iba. Okay. All correct. Still, Anika, I cannot see your answer. Marius.
Sir, di po nagana po yung ano ko po, camera.
Paano mo show yung answer? I-PM mo na lang sa akin, yung mga walang camera. Paki-message na lang sa akin yung sagot. Yeah, that's correct. Follicular phase. Follicular phase, that's right. Now, answer me true or false. Okay? A girl who is experiencing menstruation is capable of pregnancy. Is it true or false? A girl who is already experiencing menstruation is capable of pregnancy. Done? Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Yes. The correct answer is true. It means, ingat, especially girls, cannot just play and, you need to take care of yourself. And I said, nagkaroon ng pregnancy is legal already, married. Pero kapag bata pa, hindi kayang magsarili ng buhay, hindi pa nga kayang mag-provide para sa sarili, nangihingi pa sa magulang, for example, and the parents are still the ones who provide everything that you need, hindi pa kayo capable asawa. You get my point? Kaya mag-aaral muna, kailangan maging successful sa career. If you are ready, madali lang naman yun. So, pero, kailangan mag-ingat naman, especially girls who are experiencing menstruation kasi you are capable of pregnancy kahit gaano pa kabata. On record, kung baka sa inyo class, mag-research kayo pinakabatang nag-pregnancy. Magugulat kayo kung ilang taon. Okay? Kasi nga, hindi ko alam what happened, but there's someone na nag-pregnant at a very early age. So you are capable. Next, question number 8. Okay. So, what is the hormone that is responsible for bodily changes in women? The hormone. Primarily, what hormone responsible for this bodily change?
Done.
Done.
Done?
Done.
Yes, you're almost done. So will you please share your answer? May I see? What is the hormone? Hormone. Alam, parang walang nakakuha ng tamang hormone. Di ba parang na-ask ko na tong question na to. Na-ask ko na tong question na to before. Okay, sige. That's okay if no one got it. It should be this one. Pakitingnan sa chat. And we have another. Girls class, dalawa. Dalawa yung hormones na nagtumutulong para sa development. 2. the estrogen and progesterone. But for men, testosterone hormone. Okay, that is responsible for body changes. Okay, next. Okay, so i-ask ko ulit nawa ay makuha na. Kasi na-ask ko na to kanina. What location of the female reproductive system where fertilization occurs? What area or what part of the female reproductive system where fertilization occurs?
Done.
Doon.
Done.
Okay, are you done? You please show your answers in 3, 2, 1.
Done.
Wow, nice. Okay. I know hindi nyo ito makakalimutan. Kasi paulit-ulit ako dito sa part na to. Kasi ako ito yung ulit-ulit. So there are grade 5 viewers na ang lagi sinasagot dito uterus. Which is na. Kasi sa uterus lang siya nag-grow pero hindi siya doon nag-fertilize. Yan. The correct answer is fallopian. Fallopian. Correct. Give a point for that. Now, during that time, nirelease sa class from the ovary, alam nyo ba kung gaano katagal nagta-travel yung cell sa fallopian tube? It travels from 3 to 4 days bago sa makarating ng uterus. Right? Tagal, no? Diba, nag-ovulate. Day 14, there's ovulation. So, it travels from 3 to 4 days before it reaches the uterus. There you go. So next, I think this is already question number 10. Am I right? What is the other term we use for menstruation? Day 1. What is the other term? Menstruation day 1.
Sir, ano po ulit? Di ko po narinig yung sinabi niya. Day 1 lang po yung narinig ko.
Okay, so what the other referring to breakdown of the lining? It happens at 1. What is the
Yung number na po.
one? Correct. Let's ERIO. Very nice. So that's it. I believe
Sir, ilang points po yung number 1 ulit?
4 points. You got kapag pasunod. All right. Now, apply this slide. Kapag ko kayo, I to refer about sobrang haba. 1 to 5 lining break. Nagkaroon ng blood flow because And then, kapag sa ang sasabihin nyo lang, lining of begins to thicken, prepare for follicular to prepare forward for the release of an egg. Parang baga sa ano may the when we say ovulation, okay, egg release from the egg of, and for day lang pwede nyo isagot. If an egg has not been fertilized, the womb lining kasama na yun. Kasi, tatanong ko yun sa ibigay. Ask this go. You are going to but plus will you are ipapanood. Going to use nila sa dapat. We're going to draw the color. Kulayan nyo, halimbawa, para to day 1 to 5, ililabel siya as ito kailangan gayahin plus
Kailan po deadline?
later or gagawin. So again, you need to copy this one. How you understand the cycle. Example, I will then kulayan nyo another call para malaman 1 to 3 other. Kasi covered ng follicular will ovulation siya buong to ha. Ang kalagay dito 12 parehong din. Ako sa diagram na next, day 15 to other color. Now, kayo ng anong month? For example, I want to use spring. Kung nagkaroon siya ng A, lagyan lang dun. Alam nyo na, nakapag ulit bawa May 1 karoon
Person po uli lalagay.
sa band 5 May 1 kailan magkakaroon ng Hanggang July 4. And then, pang 20. Ngayon, hindi ko nalalagyan na challenge siya. Diba, ilagay ko. Identify pag paano pag iba na muna is 1 or May 1 or malaman nyo May 1 to May 28. Write your name above. Different colors. You get it? Now, do not copy. I want to see. Do not copy from L. Do not copy. Ay, wala naman pala. You understand. Watch na. Summary.
Learning medicine is hard work. Osmosis makes it easy. Lectures and notes to create a personalized study, questions, and so much more.
In basal menstrual cycle, ovarian cycle, development, uterine,
To the term,
menarche, uterine function, monthly menstrual
term that we use period stop.
duration, average of each menstrual usually ovulation. In other words, for an average 20 these two phases in the ovary ovulation.
Well, so first, this is what I'm telling you a while ago. Everything that is happening in our to hypothalamus. Even our emotions controlled by the hypothalamus. Kaya you can say, I love you with all the heart. I love you with all.
Nearby. Four
This thing that we are using, you are not familiar, but I let you watch about sa mga are the M and the L. Lang at anywhere, kaya nyo agad or
magnitude. Pituitary. By layers. Over the course. Cycle.
this one, how
Aromatase. During days. Follicle. As a result of that has becoming the dominant follicle. Using estrogen. Urge a follicle. Its energy. arteries.
Well, take note of the S.
Using estrogen. Kind of ovulation. That these using the enzyme alone.
For
Arteries and glands. Marks average 20 ovulation. Last 14 length of the uterus also goes
of our discussion with regards to cycle. It has into the cycle. Wala kayong it's okay. And wala namang masyadong task class. Menstrual. Ano na tayo agad? Months there about today. You are still on the time. To 5. Yes.
Lagyan niyo po yan sa GC.
Nga. So you just send the the answers. Di ba pag nagsisend kayo, i-clear naman yung query. gagamit kayo. Maganda yung day. So, call it a day and see you tomorrow for another. Tayo. Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye po. Thank
Sir,
you.
Bye-bye,
sir, 8 a.m. pa rin po ba bukas?